Hello.
We'll talk about it.
So that means we're responsible.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll bring it up. All right, I'll go ahead and start tonight's work session for the city council, Monday, April the 8th, 2024, 6 p.m. Before we get started, we'll go ahead and do a roll call.
Portis. Councilman Sherman. Councilman Baker.
Here.
Councilman Guy.
Here.
Councilman Price.
Present.
Councilman Gilmer.
Here.
Councilman Guy.
Here.
Councilman Sedar.
Here.
Councilman Bell.
Present.
There being a quorum, I'll call this meeting to order. We'll start off with the Pledge of Allegiance. Councilman Bell, would you lead us, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So city council, if you wouldn't mind, go ahead and we're going to start tonight's meeting. We have a guest from on Zoom to go over the tower up at Star Hill, the potential offer that they are wanting to provide. So Charlie, if you would, introduce yourself and can you make that full screen as far as his stage? Can you hear us?
I can. Are you Tim Carter?
Okay, we need to turn you up here. Let's see. And let me try it. Go ahead and try again.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. And are you Tim Carter?
Yes, I am Tim.
Okay, Tim. How you doing? It's nice to put a face to the name.
Yep.
So yeah, just let me know when to start.
Okay, so council, does everyone have their information packet that Charlie sent us in front of you? I know you got a lot of papers in front of you tonight, but everyone got it? See what it looks like? It's got the little emblem on the upper left hand. In terms of agreement. Okay, Charlie, you can go ahead and start.
Okay, great. Well, thank you everyone for having me. My name is Charlie Miller. I'm the VP of Acquisitions at Landmark Dividend. I'm based here in Chicago, so not too far. But ultimately, I was in contact with Brian Spencer and Tim Carter a few months ago regarding the cell tower. So I'll try to keep it as short as I can because it seems like there might be an agenda. So I'll try to be brief. But ultimately, we're a real estate acquisitions company that primarily deals with non-ancillary revenue streams like cell tower leases, billboard leases, windmill farms, basically any asset that has no guarantee to it whatsoever. So ultimately, what we do is offer guaranteed money on these non-guaranteed assets. So if there's a site that's interesting to us and one we have an interest in working with, we would offer that municipality, city, business owner, individual landowner, whoever it may be, a significant amount of money upfront for the assignment of that lease or leases that are associated with the tower, but also the right to develop the site. So ultimately, what we do is we leverage our relationships with a lot of big carriers across the United States. So primarily Verizon, T-Mobile, AT&T, and we leverage our relationships with those carriers to add additional tenants onto that existing site. And if we were to do that outside of that lease space, not only would we offer a lump sum of money for the assignment of the lease that currently stands, but we would also create additional revenue streams for the city that we would split 50-50, as long as it's outside of that lease space. So Tim, I'm not sure if everyone there is looking at the offer that I originally sent. That offer has expired. I think it expired at the end of March, if I'm not mistaken. That being said, I could always go back and, get another offer written up around the same price and try to get that approved. Funding is, kind of a parameter and what the number looks like. I think I initially quoted 210,000 off the top of my head, if I remember correctly. That number should still stand. I would have to double check and get it approved. I don't think it would be a problem, but the offer that I gave Tim initially and Brian Spencer in perpetuity is 210,000. But that being said, I mean, we structure these deals in a variety of different ways. So if you're looking for more of a short term, maybe a 25, 35 year, in which the lease would then get reverted back to you after that term, we could explore those options as well. But ultimately, I wanted to explain specifically what we did and what we do, but also see if there's a need for it within the city. Because a lot of the cities and municipalities I currently work with usually need some sort of capital to fund some sort of project, whether it's a building or redeveloping a current site that they're looking into, basically where they could either 1031 the capital or deploy it in some sort of development type manner. So that's pretty much all I had, Tim. I could open the floor for any questions that there might be. I know that was kind of a lot there. But yeah, ultimately we're interested in buying the lease for the tower. We're looking to market the site, add tenants onto it to create additional revenue for the city that we would split 50-50. And yeah, just here to answer any questions.
So Charlie, under the terms of this agreement, maintenance would fall under your company, right?
Yep, that's correct. So any agreement that's in the current lease or any amendments associated with that lease, that will still be upheld on our end because the assignment of the lease is being transferred. So any agreement that currently stands in the lease and the amendments that come with it, and memorandums, that will all still be in place.
So there is a correction as far as the price. You got it here for 215,000.
Yeah, okay. So that's I off the top of my head I didn't really remember, but yeah, I think the expiration date, if you look on that document, it should say I believe it was the end of March, if I recall correctly. I'm trying to pull it up, and my internet is being bluey. But yeah, so like I said before, since that offer has expired, I just need to go back and get pricing approved. But like I said, the price should remain similar, if not the same. Off the top of my head, anywhere between 205 and 215, if I had to guess. But that's within my experience. Getting that approved shouldn't be a problem.
So how soon can you have an agreement ready?
Tomorrow.
Okay.
I just have to talk with my RVP here in Chicago, reprint, and then send it over. But again, because that offer expired and because our conversations happened about a month and a half ago, we're constantly redeploying this capital that we're receiving. I have a certain pool that I have to spend, and unfortunately that comes with price fluctuations. In this case, before coming into this meeting, I did review the lease and went over it with my RVP. So like I said, the pricing, just off the top of my head, I know we'd be able to get to 210. And then that 215 number, which was initially approved a month and a half ago, would have to go through another round. That being said, the numbers should remain very close to what's on that piece of paper.
Okay. Council, you got any questions from the floor?
I thought since the offer had expired that the new offer would be higher.
That's a fair question. But like I said, unfortunately, my pool of capital is constantly fluctuating, which, as you could imagine, would dictate the price here and there. And because the offer's expired, I obviously have to go through the hoops again with my higher ups as well. So that's the reason for that. But like I said, should be very close, if not very on point with what you're looking on that paper.
So council, is there any other questions? If not, I mean, it'd be your all's pleasure if you want them to present an updated agreement to be heard at either our special meeting on Wednesday, which we're having a special meeting Wednesday, or at our next regular council meeting, the fourth Monday of the month. But if we want to give him any direction, the council would probably need to give some sort of action tonight to let them know to draft something for consideration.
So go ahead and grab. Yeah, go
ahead
and drop a new, terms of agreement.
So we got a motion from Councilman Suddarth and seconded from Councilman Bell. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say yes.
Yeah.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Charlie, thank you very much. As soon as you get that to us, we'll present it to the council as a whole or on our special meeting this Wednesday.
Okay, and is that something I need to present as well, or do I just need to send you the terms?
Just the terms will be fine.
Okay, I will have that to you tomorrow.
All right, appreciate it.
Okay, thank you everybody for your time. Appreciate it.
So council, thanks for indulging me on having Charlie before we get going with our regular order of business. I do want to start off our meeting recognizing Councilman Baker for his service to the city and stepping up when called upon and asked. Not too many people are willing to step into this ring that we have here. And I do with my sincerest, thanks and gratitude. I do want to recognize you for your participation. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And then also, Councilwoman Sherman, she's not here this evening, but also she stepped up when called upon and asked to fill the vacancy that was created, and she did so. And she represented her ward well, and wish her the best. With that being said, I'll excuse you and I'll have all council members and incumbents that just been reelected and the new elected officials, Mr. Twitchell for 3rd Ward and also Mr. Phillips for 4th Ward. If you step forward, we'll have the city clerk give the oath of office. So Councilman Gott, Councilman Gelker, we'll do the oath again. We'll do the oath again.
We will.
Uh-huh. Do it one more time. Yep. Yep. I'm sorry.
It's like Congress, every 2 years, you gotta take the oath again.
Everybody gets.
And you might have to be close to the mic.
Okay, raise your right hand. I state your name, do solemnly swear that I possess all the qualifications for the office of city council as prescribed by law, that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the state of Missouri, the provisions of all laws of this state affecting cities of this class and the ordinances of the city of Louisiana, and faithfully demean myself in office, so help me God.
Council members, if you take your seats.
You're going way.
Congratulations again. How you doing?
The slide on this thing plays back, it's gonna fall. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we can do that.
We do that later?
Yeah, we can do that. Huh. Council, you have, in front of you, the agenda. If there's any amendments or any changes to the agenda, any recommendations, you have the floor. If not, the agenda will stand. Okay, agenda stands. All right, so for the council of the whole, for the committee, I just want to bring to the council's attention, to vacate. And the names are not correct. Well, it's not listed on your outline, but it's Kilnville and also Hillview, which is right at the base of Star Hill. That is, you get to those properties from Lincoln Park, heading up towards the hill. And also, if you go on the road beside Rick Henry's place of business, across the creek, you can also get to those properties, those right of ways that we're looking to vacate is what we're vacating is right of ways. The properties along the base of Star Hill is tied into a property that we are getting ready to list for sale, and to clean up the property line. It is advised to vacate that right of way on Hillview, to all the property owners on the north side of Hillview. Typically, when we vacate right of ways, we vacate it 50-50 between property owners. But the city owns the south side of Hillview. So, and everything to the north side is to that creek. So it makes sense to vacate everything to that creek, to the property owners to the north. Now, Kilnville Road is the road that goes between Rick Henry's places of business on both sides. His lawnmower shop's on the right-hand side or the west side of the road, and his storage shed is on the east side of the road, and it crosses the creek. And so we would vacate that road and that property going across the creek to Rick Henry. He owns both sides of the property. If there's any questions to that, now there is another section on A Street where 7th Street crosses Highway 54 and goes up towards Frankfurt Road or Highway 79. There is the storage shed on the right-hand side, and there's a guardrail there. Well, A Street actually starts in front of that property and goes across the street of Frankfurt Road. So that little section that's in front of that property is of no use to the city, and we don't maintain it, and it's still in the books as being, a city right of way. So we would include that section of A Street to vacate the property to the property owners adjoining, which is, they own both sides of that property. So are there any questions on that? We'll bring that up. We'll probably bring that up in regular session, not in a special session towards the end of the month. So if there's any more, we'll make sure that the paperwork is legal and reviewed by our city attorney and proper with the county for final decision at our regular council meeting. Okay, so the next item I have is the comprehensive plan. And I do want to give some kudos to Doris Henderson she's the chair of our or our planning and zoning. And she really spearheaded, revamping the comprehensive plan. Each member should have a copy of it. Be looking for any input, and she's been very good at communicating with the council, asking for any input. And still willing to work on anything that needs to be worked on to revise it, but be looking for that at the next regular council meeting for adoption. This ties into our economic development, our planning and zoning. Basically, it's given 2-year, 3-year, 4-year, long-term, short-term plans where we are moving forward. And it's not a pie in the sky type of a plan. These are things that should be obtainable for us to do. Also, this evening, council, this is kind of something that council hasn't had in a few years, as far as in a timely manner, is a budget that is actually prepared for your review and input and so forth. We have an obligation to pass this budget with a deadline of the last meeting in May. I know in years past, it's been June several times before we got a budget passed. But what we are presenting in front of you as of right now is a balanced budget. The city side of the revenues, we are still in a positive of roughly $3,000. And then on the enterprise side, we have a surplus of $58,000 as far as the budget revenues versus expenditures. So you have that in front of you. Keep this copy, because from here on out, the only copies that you will see will be summary of this front page. The rest of the pages are detailed by each department. So we won't print that out again, but we will print out the summary again. So if you take notes and write on this, keep it. And if you need an electronic version of it, let us know and we'll send you an electronic version of it as well. Another item for the council of the whole is the council has authorized to go out and seek a survey of the riverfront. And really, this isn't a question for the council as much as it is an informational piece for the council and for the public to be aware of. Because the council has already authorized surveying the riverfront. And so we do have proposals from James Surveying out of Cameron, Missouri for $3,540. Landmark Surveying Company out of Wentzville, Missouri for $9,000. And Miko Engineering out of Hannibal for $3,500. So seeing that Miko is the lowest bid for $3,500 for surveying the entire riverfront of the properties along the riverfront, that'll be the one that we will go with. And once we do that, then we will create deeds for all the properties on the riverfront and ensure that the city of Louisiana's name is associated with those properties. Hopefully eliminating any issues of ownership for future grant monies for the properties. Any questions on that?
Is that gonna take into effect? We've always had problems with the railroad property going through there. Is that gonna resolve that issue? Or?
It will start the process, because once we get the survey, now we have legal descriptions and we will start drafting the deeds and work to get those deeds pushed at the county level.
Okay, good.
Because I've been working with the railroad for about 2 years now, trying just to get them to sign over a quitclaim deed. And I finally, they merged again with Canada Pacific. So now it's Canada Pacific and Kansas City that owns the railroad now. They're willing to do a quitclaim deed, but we did not have a good legal description to share with them.
Yeah, because I remember when we were trying to do a thing with the lot, and that was one of the issues.
Yep.
We're gonna have to own that
So-
property.
Yeah, so to answer your question, yes, it'll resolve those issues.
Good.
Committee reports. Streets distribution, Councilman Sutter.
14th and Tennessee shoulder. The storm sewer or the storm water is wastewater has been put in there and completed. There's a drop inlet that needs to be installed yet, and then that'll be completely done. 23rd and Georgia sidewalk across from the hospital. That's been cut out and prepped to pour concrete over there. The paving, they've been here and got started with milling. They're supposed to be here tomorrow to start with laying asphalt. The city vehicle maintenance, all the maintenance has been done to all the street distribution vehicles. And the hydrant flushing has been completed. That's it.
Okay, just want to point out something that you mentioned, the sidewalk right across from the hospital on Georgia Street, 23rd and Georgia right there. I don't know if you noticed, they did the sidewalk, but they also did a curb cut. Meaning along the concrete curbs of Georgia Street, especially along heading out westward, concrete goes so far, but the grass and the dirt has piled up with all the chat and everything else over the years. When you drive by and take a look what that curb cut looks like, that is something that the street department is going to be doing all along Georgia Street heading out west, cutting that curb back down to the curb height. And if you look at the blacktop or the asphalt sidewalk that's there, it'll clean that up. Cause it's full of gravel and stuff too. So that's a project it's on the books to be completed. So if you drive by that area, just pay attention, see what it looks like. That's what we're wanting all of Georgia Street to look like on the way down there. Infrastructure, ground, streets and sidewalk. Councilman Bell.
Okay, we just, just agreed to get an update on the, cell tower. The next item on the agenda was the Lower River wall bid. We had Joshua Lee Construction for $33,800. And on Penrod, it was $35,292 at 10,000.
No, so so when we asked for the bids, we asked for labor only bids. And the Joshua Lee, he provided a labor only for 33,800. On Penrod's bid, he also included materials, but he separated his labor out at $10,000, and I verified that speaking with him. So this was put out there because the riverfront, the council has decided is a priority for our community. And we don't have significant amount of funds, and we're trying to get grants and so forth. And so when we went out for bids, we asked for a partnership with a construction firm to partner with the city to get this project done as a design build. We would provide the materials and equipment, and they would provide their labor and their expertise on doing the concrete work and forming it up. So that's why you see what we have. And right now, we currently have $42,000 for the riverfront account. And this would meet within the scope of that. And that would do 300 feet by 17 feet of concrete going down to lower wall section. It does not do an ADA compliant ramp yet, from the boat ramp side on the south side of the wall. That would be another phase that we'd have to look at doing, making that accessible to disabled, and heck, even for a normal person, because the steps that's there now are 15-inch steps at the riverfront. It's just unsafe. So the concrete pad will not go all the way to the river's edge. it will stay 2 feet back from the edge of the existing rock. And so the pad will be 5.5 inches thick. The entire length of the 300 feet on the water side edge will have a 1/4 inch, 4 inch by 4 inch angle iron embedded into the concrete. In case of the water does get high, logs, boats or barges, because we've had a barge hit our wall before. Just to help protect the concrete. So we need that 2 foot back so we can establish, some batter boards and anchors and hold the concrete back. But once the concrete's done, the rock will be filled with 1 to 2 inch clean gravel to the same surface of the concrete there.
How far is the gravel going down?
The riprap,
Riff, right?
the riprap right now, we've done the north side of the boat ramp. And what we are doing on the south side is the entire from water's edge all the way up to the curb. For the remaining length of the property, we are immediately doing up against the curb, starting there because it's eating away at the bank and it's undermining the curbing. So immediately we're looking to secure that and see what our cost is before we start taking it further down towards the river. But our grounds crew and our streets crews have been cleaning up the debris, the riprap as far as laying it out. And also a lot of the dead wood and logs and stuff, trying to get them removed and picked up as well. If you haven't driven down by the riverfront lately, especially since they started on the south side of the boat ramp, night and day difference, night and day difference.
I encourage you to do it. It really looks nice.
Question. I'm just too bad, I'm not an engineer, so I don't
Mhm.
understand all that other stuff, but. So Penrod here is basically claiming he can do the labor for 10 grand, whereas the Joshua Lee Construction. They're providing the materials and the labor. Is that what that number includes? Cause I'm just having a real disconnect between. How the labor costs on the one bid versus the cost on the other.
Let me explain that to you.
Thank you.
And because the true bid is right there with $33,800.
That's for everything.
No, that's for his labor.
Okay.
And why the significance difference is Brett Penrod is born and raised here. His mom, if you knew his mother, Dorothy Penrod, a real advocate for the city, trash cans, anything they can do to beautify the community. And there is one thing that Brett wants to do, and he wants to dedicate. Anyway, he
Okay, I get your, yeah, I see what you're saying.
anyway, he's dedicating to his mom.
Time I'd like to, make a motion that we accept, Penrod Construction bid for the Lower River Wall.
Second.
All in favor?
Uh,
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries.
Next item on the agenda was the grass cutting service bid. We had a bid, from Sendico, Lawn Care, more. This is the same bid that they gave us last year for Riverview Cemetery. 33,300 per cutting and 400 for Memorial Gardens, which is down on Route East. And Showme Landscape Design, Melissa Hernandez, put in a bid of 300 per cut for Memorial Gardens.
Motion to take the first one. They're removing the debris and the rubbish for that $400.
Yes.
And the other one's just doing the mowing and the weed eating. So I'd make a motion that we accept this bid,
Before we go.
the first one.
Okay.
That show me landscape.
No, that's Fidencio,
Yeah,
the first one, yes.
That's one.
Yes,
Yes. They pick up the debris
yeah.
where the other one did not have that in.
Okay.
deal.
I'll
Second.
second that motion.
we got a first and second. All in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Sorry, Councilman, I took your role there.
That's fine. Okay. Next item on the agenda was the historical lighting. We had a good price on them, so we ordered an additional. What was it, 12 more? And, for a total cost of, $1,359.48. And, that's just for information purposes only, we don't need to, but that's a lot cheaper than we were getting them in the past.
And this is for just standby,
The street lights.
yeah,
So-
but this is for standby then, or?
We,
these extras?
we have 12 lights that need repaired. So, yeah, so just so for council's information, the previous cost was $700 and something a globe. And we're getting them now for 134.
My question would be, if we're getting a whole lot better price, and we have 12 already that need to be repaired, should we go for 14, so we've got a couple back in storage?
So we're working out of the current year's budget. Right? And this wasn't budgeted for, especially at $700 and something a piece. One of the reasons why we look for alternatives, but we are budgeting next year $15,000 to go towards historical lighting to cover those spare parts. That means that's in the budget now for next year.
The next item on the agenda was the parking bumpers out at Wallace Park. The committee met and, we wanted to bring the council to buy 50 parking bumpers. For the time being for Wallace Park, at a cost of, basically $2,200. That's not including shipping though. What is it? Shipping. Probably be 400 of the weight. So it's looking at $2,600. Yes.
Is that the bumpers for the parking lot?
Yes, those, the 6 and they're 4.5 inches tall, and we're probably gonna need about 70, but 50 right now to get us started. Then we'll come back on, next year's budget. Once these are put in. And, we really don't need a motion for that, it's under 5,000, but that's for, council information. And then the fogger maintenance. The maintenance is done. A stator had to be ordered. And it should be here around the 17th. That's the fogger for the mosquitoes.
Just out of curiosity, what chemical do they use? I always wanted to make sure I wasn't in the vicinity when they were doing it.
We're using Mountain View.
That's a good question.
Here, I'm gonna go call Clint right now.
Good question.
That's why I've grown a third in.
Hey, what chemical do we use for the fogger?
Control 4x4, starts with a K.
Okay. Do you know what the chemical compound in that is? That the name of it?
That is the name of it. But I probably have it in front of me.
I got you on speaker, by the way.
Get a warning first.
That's all right. I have the safety data sheet in front of me. You wanna know the ingredients of it, correct?
Yeah,
It's permethrin. A word that I cannot say, piperonal butoxide. And then it just says inert ingredients. So it's 4.6% permethrin, 4.6% piperonal butoxide, and then inert ingredients is 90.8%.
okay. That answers the question.
And I will tell you from the past, we had the other fogger that kind of turned into a flamethrower on us. So we went back to using the one we're using now. From my understanding, this is more of a repellent than it is that actually kills them. It's just kind of supposed to repel them to the outskirts of town. So that's why we fog. We usually do it in a motion of the direction of the wind, so that it will push the mosquitoes out instead of in. It just depends on the wind direction and what we need, how we need to fog, if we go east to west or north to south.
Okay,
So if that's, I don't know if that'll help you, but that's kind of what we do with it.
oh, that's good. I appreciate it.
So, all right,
Thanks.
sounds good.
Bye.
If I could add, considering how decades later, the city of St. Louis has lawsuits like crazy over radioactive stuff and things that have been sprayed and DDT and et cetera. We might want to make sure, it's probably already being done,
Mhm.
but I'm new, so I don't know. But we want to make sure we keep a record of exactly what chemical it was that we were using, so that if we get sued, we can then in turn pass the buck. That's right.
All right.
In addition, we had this one thing we tabled last month. Releasing the green space at 401 Georgia. The old Georgia Hard, which I tried the building. We just tabled it, never made a decision on what to do on that. That, it concerns the Bridge Coffee House, because it's national rings.
Yeah, so, yeah, council, everyone, I'm not sure if the new council members may have gotten a copy of that proposal from the church for that property. So we did table that at our last regular council meeting. I'm looking for it on the agenda here.
Supposed to be getting bids.
Well, proposals, and we've only received one proposal, and that was from the church. And that's the one that we shared with the council on that. Really, if we start, we can accept it as it is, but if we want to negotiate it and talk about it and negotiate it, we'll probably need to do that in an executive session.
Because I want to negotiate, I think it's the problem, but that will be at negotiations, not here,
Right.
because we can do better than this.
So we'll bring it up. We'll bring it up in our regular council meeting under executive session.
And that's all from the ground.
Okay.
I have a question. Bill, I apologize to you on giving that information about towers. I thought you were in charge of that, but it's Rudy. I've had two complaints from Tom Lilly about the lights not being on the tower at night.
Okay.
All right, Public Safety and Police Hiring Committee.
We had an executive meeting tonight and information will be forthcoming.
Okay,
That's the end of it.
all right. Yeah, any questions for the Police Hiring Committee?
Oh, I thought it was public safety.
Well, public safety, yes.
Yeah, I don't know if you're aware, but over the weekend, somebody decided to put an SUV or a truck into the side of somebody's house on Georgia Street. I think as a council, we really need to start thinking about how we're going to control those speeds on that street. That's not the first incident that I've seen at that particular corner. About a year ago, maybe less than that, I was over there and a guy was pulling a four-wheeler, one of those mud vehicles or whatever you want to call it, on a trailer, didn't have it fastened down properly, and it rolled off the back of the trailer, almost hit the exact same house. It stopped like 2 feet short of going through the front of the house. And I don't know if it's an enforcement issue or if it's something, maybe we have to put some speed bumps or something in there. I don't know, but I know just the other day watching traffic up and down that street, there are a lot of people speeding up in that one particular corner. And, you know, people shouldn't have to live in fear of somebody putting a vehicle through the front of their house.
In reference to clarify, the speed was not an issue in that.
Okay, it's just a point of inquiry is all.
In reference to that, a house being damaged, I think the person who did the damage is gonna have to have some deep pockets. I think that's gonna be, a pretty good hit and, it'll keep that person lesson.
Yeah, I'm just saying, you know, that's the second incident I've seen at that particular location. I'm just wondering if there's something we can do about that to keep that from happening again, because, you know, what if somebody would have been walking down the sidewalk or something and,
Yeah.
you know, gets creamed?
Yeah, just for historical reference, that this is like the second or third time that house has been hit.
I'm not shocked.
Still tree.
Yeah.
Say, what is it with that clock?
Yeah.
Now that we are building our police department and we're still short. We just can't find the recruitment. But we're still trying. I think we will see an improvement on speeding and things like that. When we only had 2 policemen, we just couldn't do it.
And I'm not accusing anybody of anything, it's just that's the second one that I personally I didn't witness the one the other day. The one before with the four-wheel, I witnessed that happening. And it's just a matter of time before somebody gets really seriously hurt.
What, you know, those radar detectors that tell you your speed? Can you rent those?
Well, I mean, you know, those are a deterrent to a point, but, I'm going, 45 and a 30. Well, I can't get a ticket.
No.
We have one outside.
Can't say.
We knew it's not, operation.
Yeah, so we've, the Mark Twain Regional Council of Governments, we went and acquired their speed radar sign that's sitting in the parking lot. We put it into service and it's solar powered, battery powered. Wasn't working. We've, looked at charging and replacing potentially the battery. We're still having issues. So we've let the Mark Twain Regional Council of Government be aware of that. And that's why it's not in service, it's in the parking lot.
Battery's good.
Yeah.
But it has no electrical coming out of the box. I don't know. All I did was charge the battery.
Anything else, for the Public Safety and Police Hiring Committee? Council, I apologize because, you should have this list. Was this list provided to each of the council members for the committees? Okay. Well, anyway, you've inherited the committees that your predecessor vacated. And if you're not aware of those committees, I will give you that list.
Well, I wanted that one anyway, so it's all good.
Okay, that's 4 times.
I'm gonna glue that thing on there.
It stays there.
Super glue. Put it over here to the side.
Oh,
he'll put the coffee on it.
So I have a copy and I'll be sure to give everyone a copy. And typically in May, we may reshuffle the committees. Just to let you be aware of that. And I'll give you that. Next item on the agenda is ordinance. The 300 codes were pushed out last month, and then returned for corrections for spelling and typos. And that's been done and pushed back out to the council members. Well, I'll just have to make sure everyone has copies of it, and if you need a hard copy of it, let April know, and we'll print you off a hard copy as well. So we'll push that out, and we'll look at that, give a first reading potential at the end of the month on the regular council meeting. Okay. Economic development and tourism, Wayne Baker.
I kind of talked to you about that a
Yes.
little bit this morning. I was working on an economic development plan for the city. And, with the council's permission, I'd like to continue working on that. And just kind of finish fleshing out. I had about 15 pages written, and, it just kind of died a slow death, for various reasons that we don't need to get into, but, I would like, one of the reasons I'm excited about doing economic development is I'd like to continue my work on that particular plan. And not saying this is what we gotta do necessarily, but at least to be a base point, especially if I can tying it into the comprehensive plan, where we can maybe just kind of get some ideas to how we want to move forward. I just think it's really important that we get away from, you know, just kind of seeing what's out there and what we think we need to do, and kind of have an organized way of approaching this from a policy perspective and a planning perspective. And I'm willing to put in the work and put, you know, work with the committee and do all that to try to put something together. So we can start moving forward and actually start setting some economic development goals and objectives and those kinds of things. And kind of start getting off the schneid a little bit on some of this stuff,
Good deal, good deal.
if that's okay with everybody.
Nope, I'd say,
Drive on.
we don't, yeah, that's it. Councilman Twitchell, you have inherited housing, health, senior services, and disadvantaged. So some of the points of contact, I'll get with you on that if you're interested in still heading that up. Will be our Trimble House Senior Center down at Trimble House, and also Pike Pioneers. Of course, the nursing homes or hospitals or any avenue for input. Yeah, the food pantry. And anything of those NECAC, housing authority, any of those. And we can give you points of contact, you know, we'll just have to,
Welfare.
yeah. Yeah, expert, subject matter expert. So. Enterprise Public Utilities, Councilman Bell.
On the screen skimmer, we're still waiting on Hooper to schedule and install between April and May. And the water treatment scraper, rocket title rise. And we're figuring out the planning and timing to work it in to our projects and to complete the process. And the main water pump is set to arrive between April 18th and May 8th. And the water pump was, we have in the extra one was repaired, completed today.
Yep.
And the water treatment painting projects, did everybody get that packet?
Yeah, so this right here. That packet right there, this is a request for proposals that be sent out to engineering firms to spearhead this project. And it lists out the scope of work for the project. The funding for this project would be the American Rescue Funds. So we are looking at accomplishing everything that's listed in the scope of work. We're asking the engineers to develop a plan to accomplish all these goals, needs that we need at the water treatment plant, and then to supervise and formulate bid packets and basically manage the project from the initiation of bids to completion of the work and inspection of the work. So this scope of project could be, if I was to just to throw out numbers, purely guessing, $20,000 to $30,000 for engineer work. And probably upwards of $250,000 for the project. We have approximately $370,000 left in the American Rescue Fund to any difference in the funds, we will identify streets that need water line replacements or sewer line replacements. And do that and repave those streets, or any of the funds left over from this project. But this is more of an informational thing, that this is, please let me know if you see something that needs to be corrected or added or something. Otherwise, it's gonna be pushed out in the next couple of days to engineering firms. And versus, spending, we'll follow the process, but we're gonna deliver this to at least 6 different firms. Make sure that they have it in hand, besides solely relying on advertisement in the papers.
Any street that we have torn up because of enterprise and so forth, we can use funds out of that to take care of the street.
Yes, exactly. So just so the public knows, council took action last month to spend $220,000 for the 6 streets that we are working on now, that currently been milled and so forth.
How much?
220,000.
The next item on the agenda was the water treatment heaters. I believe they were listed at $1,500 a piece. That's not counting the cost of installation. Which,
No insulation?
well, that's not including the cost of installation.
So that's been put on. So really, when we're looking at the painting project,
Part of it.
that's part of this scope of work. Because, the heaters have been out of service for years. The gas lines in the building are corroded to the point you can't even tell what size gas line it is. So that's one of the things that we're asking an engineer firm is to look at our whole setup as far as condensation, humidity and everything. We may not replace it with those heaters. We may do a whole different system, because when you go down there, it's a wet basement is what it is. And those pipes that were down there in that basement are only 6 years old. And we spent a significant amount of money to do that. Yeah, 6 years, 6 years. That's part of the LT2 project that we did about 6 years ago.
Okay.
So to bring it up to code. So those heaters have been out longer than that. So
Yeah.
This
it's,
is the water plant?
yeah, it's the water treatment plant. Yeah.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
we don't know, some of those pipes could be very, to the point of being very, dangerous. can't
Yeah.
they?
So that's part of the, they need to come in and evaluate. And originally, the original plan a few months ago was to have our employees go in there and scrape all that off and paint all that. And we went down there and looked at the scope of works, and now this ain't something that we need to do, get involved in.
yeah, I think, part of what we do as government is water.
Yeah,
And I think, we have to make sure that we're doing water right. I know just where I live, every once in a while, there's that metallic taste in the water and I know a lot of it has to do probably with the age of the plant and the equipment. And it's, again, not assessing flame necessarily, but that's one of the things I think we need to do. And so, maybe if we have to divert money from other projects to make sure we do it right the first time, that's something we probably need to think about.
yeah,
This isn't increasing capacity but it's just
no,
basically doing maintenance that
Maintenance.
hasn't been done, that should have been done.
right.
They probably did.
They've not been doing any
Yeah.
maintenance of any kind.
Yeah, so the rest of the council, and I apologize, but we got pictures of everything we can share with you. In April, if we would forward those emails with the
Yeah.
pictures and stuff. And you can visit the plant and walk through the plant. Now, with that being said, I'm gonna let you know that our employees and team have been working diligently to make improvements. This year, we have spent probably about $250,000 making improvements not only to the water treatment plant, but also to the wastewater plant. Stuff that's been neglected for a while. And, that type of stuff needs constant maintenance and upkeep and pride and everything. And I'm really proud of the employees stepping up and doing their part.
They have been. They
So-
really have.
So,
Having a comprehensive multi-year maintenance plan for the water and sewer.
yes.
Has anybody started working on that?
Yeah, so each of the chief operators have been tasked with developing a preventative maintenance program. And, all valves should be maintained every 5 years, there's a lot of things that needs to be done and documented and part of this scope of work that, I drafted it, but I drafted it based from the chief operator at the water treatment plant, Robert Morgan. So he gave me the preliminary stuff. And we took that and drafted what needs to be done. So, these are some tasks that never been delegated before to them. And they're being delegated to take on this role. And they're doing the job. So I'm not complaining about their job whatsoever. I think before they just had a heavy thumb on them. So we lifted that thumb and just replaced it with responsibility. Is that it, Councilman Bell? Sorry.
Yes. That's it.
All right. Councilman Gott, you got anything?
No, nothing at this time.
Okay. Councilman Portis?
We've got $5 in it. On a pound, and,
How many?
$5.
Five. Okay, how many cats?
One, miss that one.
Want those too? No,
Um,
I don't want cats now.
where the desk out there is broken, and I'd like to, there are some desks in the basement that are usable in this building, correct?
Yeah,
I'd like to request that one of them be donated out to the pound. To, that desk, if somebody were to lose their balance and try to steady themselves on that, it would probably not be good.
we can grab the metal desk out of the water office and use that. We just need to let Gene know and Wiley know and the guys know we need to move it. Get rid of the old one.
It's staying up right now, but
Why Tim's big?
exactly.
And if the council hasn't had an opportunity out there around the animal shelter and the street department and stuff, realize that it's being cleaned up and being picked up and, where the big dirt mound is right now next to the shelter. Eventually, a vision anyway, not a promise, but a vision of, leveling that all out with a small retaining wall and turn that into more of a usable space or run or something of that nature.
Is there a fence on the side of the railroad trash car at all?
Nothing definitive. But we have asked the street department to, look into getting a metal, roll-off, a metal recycled container, roll off a large one and start cleaning up all the metal that's around the site there. So if we haven't used it for 5 years, we might as well get rid of it and get some money out of it and clean it up.
I have visions of a nice big double somewhere.
Well, if we leveled that, where the drain is, where the gravel is, imagine that being 3 or 4 foot higher than what it is, maybe 5 foot higher and that being level. Just long range plan. Councilman Price?
I just need to agree where we're gonna plant these 3 trees for now.
Okay,
Does anybody have any suggestions? There's not one that's going on. I still gotta get the trees. And well, I think there was 8
trees that was donated by the crazy lady.
Yes.
So we have to find a place to plant them. Mr. Gilbert's yard.
Just to let you know, we haven't forgot about the trees at the cemetery either.
Right.
So we're going to be acquiring either a bucket truck or a man lift of some sort.
I knew it was just a matter of time.
Yeah,
Has anybody talked about that?
yeah,
No, I mean, was gonna ask that.
it's happening.
I'm getting more around this here. God, and I'm kind of big.
All right, miscellaneous business. The financial audit, each council member needs to fill out the form, the survey form and return it to the city clerk. If you can do that this evening, that'd be great. It's just it's a documentation that the auditor requests to have back before April the 12th. Still have it projected to complete the audit by May 31st. But then again, especially new council members or any council member, not just new, but the legislative conference, MML 2024 for the elected officials the elected officials training is scheduled for June 6th and 7th in Columbia. And the city will provides a stipend and will cover costs for going to that training. So they'll go through the sunshine law and all the aspects for cities.
Unlimited fund.
Well,
When is that?
June 6th, June 6th and 7th,
And where is it?
Columbia.
You got an extra one?
We'll have to get you one. I don't think I'll listen to the, previous council on there. So I'll get you one and I can we'll go for that.
Are there any other questions, concerns, or issues the council wants to bring up or public?
No, I certainly want to commend Doris for the beautiful job that you did. It took me a while to read that, but it-
I started going through it myself and found 7 before I was 20 pages in, so.
well,
A big admission and
that's
everything.
a report.
I did a lot of work with the old ones.
Yeah, well, the old ones, so they're really.
I got
One more thing, just an update. So the LMC has sent the council, they've got over 55 vendors that's already paid for the Bluegrass Spring Fling. Several sponsorships. They've collected over $3,000 in sponsorships. So they also have made agreements with the Elks to utilize their hall for a concert, a band, for bands to play for that Friday evening on the June 7th. So they are on track. I see them every time I'm in here. They're constantly, Chris is constantly working on making this event the best that she can do. And also the shield and sirens are is April the 20th from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. So it's gonna be at the Elks parking lot and the main hall and there as well. Good opportunity for kids to come out, drug awareness, and basically show the support to the fire and police department. So I would encourage anyone to stop by and visit during that time frame.
I got one question. It's pertaining to paving of the streets. On Forest Hills, I noticed they're paving at the bottom there at that curve. Did anybody look at like the top at the end of the court? Up, toward the top of the hill? That thing looks like the Sea of Tranquility up there. It's an axle buster, it really is. I was just wondering why, if they're paving at the bottom, they can't go up there and maybe work on that a little bit.
So at the
I know
time,
there's limited funds.
at the time, we looked at traffic flow and cost and we really we knew and didn't know that there's more streets that need work than what we are doing. We know that, but we had to cut it off at some point. And we wanted to spread it out, not just one part of town. We wanted to spread it out, everywhere that will impact I think Virginia Street was my vote for the worst street in
I
Louisiana.
would say Forest Hills is not the worst.
So, motion to adjourn?
I make a motion.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, like sign, we are adjourned.
We're done.
Oh.